Hey, what's up, good people? How y'all doing? Hey, listen, welcome to our second episode of Minds of the Youth podcast. I'm Kojak, aka Yay Yay.
And I'm Maya, aka Moses.
Hey, listen, today gonna be another dope episode. We have a very special guest. Well, it's a guest to y'all.
But like family to us.
Absolutely, man, we just think so much of this young lady, man. She's just awesome in our book. So, with no further ado, we want to definitely welcome, our family member, young lady, Cariah.
Yes, hey, hello. How you guys doing today?
Good, how are you?
It's good, I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So we switch it up and make sure Cariah has the mic. And so today, listen, today's topic is, I think, one that is super dope, but it's one that's needed. And it's one that's needed to be talked about when it comes to dealing with young people,
Yeah.
And so today we're going to talk about peer pressure. Yeah. So when I say peer pressure, what goes through your mind? What do you think about?
A tough situation to get out of. For me, I could say it's a very tough situation. It's like, for me, I'm like anxious or heart beating fast. I don't know what to do. Stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm gonna piggyback on that. It's like when I hear peer pressure, it like makes me think of you have to think fast and you have to like you're feeling a lot of pressure. Like you're just like, I don't know what to do, but I have to decide. And so,
Right. Listen, both of those are, and see, this is why we have to have these conversations, because what both of you said was so important and very powerful. Because Cariah, you were saying you be anxious, and so we talked about anxiety last, our first episode. That's what it was about, was anxiety, and Maya, what you were saying was even, how it seemed like I need to make a decision right then. Right then, and not understanding that, no, listen, you take your time. You never let somebody rush you into making a decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to your life, and your well-being. So I really, really appreciate y'all saying what you said when it came to what does peer pressure look like to y'all? When I say that, what does that mean?
Yeah.
So what I want to do is I definitely want to read something what Google says about what peer pressure is, and then we're going to get in, because I have my own definition of peer pressure too. It's I wouldn't say it's like a definition, but what I would like to say is that it is a way of looking at it, right? That's what I would say when it comes to peer pressure. There's a way that I look at peer pressure. And so we're going to read what Google says. And then, I think what y'all say is more important than what Google say. Straight up. I really believe that. So just real quick, because then as I read through this, I really thought that this was really dope. And I think it has some great information in there, even for parents, because the whole key is if I can better understand you as a parent, do you think that would better help our relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right. Because I'm able to get it from your perspective. And real quick, now, if I, as a parent or as, a guardian, if you go to tell me your perspective and I shut you down and I say your perspective is wrong and this and that, how open would you be conversation wise when it comes to me?
Probably wouldn't hear much out of me.
Yeah.
You just shutting me down.
Yeah. I'm going to feel like I'm not going to feel comfortable like I should be if I feel like you don't even want to hear me out or try to step in my shoes a little bit or see where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
So if I don't feel comfortable even being able to talk to you, then I just can't see myself doing it.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me. And so this is why I think that today's topic is so dope, and the perspective of today's topic, which is peer pressure, is so important for the simple fact that we're able to see it and hear it from your perspective. Because if I shut you down off of how I see it, then there's no dialogue, there's no communication.
Yeah.
And now I'm back to guessing. You know what I'm saying? And you already know y'all ain't cool when it come to parents guessing when it come to you.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So if you don't mind, or is there something that you want to say, Moses?
I didn't do my research this time, so no.
Oh, well, see, that's what teamwork is all about. Hey, listen, that's what teamwork is all about. And so this is, and you can go back and forth and you can read some of this if you want to. I know we talked about that the last episode when you was talking about, hey, sometimes I don't feel like reading. So I just said, that's why I said if you want to.
I can read.
Oh, okay.
You want me to? Where do you want me to read from?
You could just start off and just read like this right here, and then we'll tackle that later.
This too, or no?
No, just this right here.
All right. Peer pressure or influence comes in several forms, and these types of peer pressure can have a tremendous impact on a young person's behavior. Research shows the most impressionable age for peer influence seems to be the middle school years. This is when a child is forming new friendships and choosing an identity amongst those friends. It is also the most common age for kids to start experimenting with alcohol, drugs, sexual activity, and other risky behaviors. Very often, the drive to engage in this kind of behavior is a result of peer pressure. Adolescents who have larger circles of friends appear to be less influenced by the suggestions or actions of their peers, but the pressure to conform this is very real at this age.
So they said that when it came to peer pressure, it's at its height, or the beginning stages of it. It starts when they are in middle school.
Yeah.
Agree, disagree.
Agree.
Oh, listen. Now, see, that blows me away that both of y'all said agree. Would you like to expound on why do you agree with that?
I'm gonna tell you guys this from experience. So it was my first day of middle school, and I was on the bus, and I was just so I just felt peer pressure just because it's like I'm about to go in this school with all these older kids. I'm still fresh, I'm new, nobody knows me, nothing, I don't know what I'm gonna do, I don't know how I'm gonna make everybody like me, things like that. So that's how I felt peer pressure. And the whole way on the bus to the school, I'm just nervous the whole time, just heart beating. I'm breathing okay. I walk in the front door, I'm like, oh, we here. I'm just nervous the whole day feeling peer pressure, making sure I don't do nothing wrong. Yeah.
That is so, listen, I mean, that makes sense, right? Now, because this is one thing that for you to say that, it really validates some of my thought process when I say the different transitions huge. When you go from elementary to middle school, that's huge. You know what I'm saying? That's a huge transition. Just like when you go to high school from middle school, that's a huge transition because you're dealing with different mindsets, you're dealing with different conversations, and so for you to say that is man, my first day, I was like, oh my God, I'm sitting in here about ready to jump out the window on the bus. You know?
I'm ready for the day to be over already.
Right.
But I can say though, if I had to pick between going from elementary to middle school or middle school to high school, I would say the worst one was going from middle school to high school.
See, that's what I want, and so I want to know why, because we heard the example of, hey, middle school, when you first went to middle school, what was, some of the issues that you was What is the difference between going from elementary to middle school, but then from middle school to high school? Why do you say that one was the worst?
Let me see how I want to put this. It's like when you go into middle school, like it's like bigger things you look forward to. I mean, it could be some things are good, but it's like some things you don't know what to expect. Like going to high school, you don't know what to expect at all. Like as I'm saying, our generation especially. In our generation, going to high school, you just gotta hold your breath in there because people try you every day. Even first day, they don't care, especially if you're a new student. And half of the schools I went to, I was a new student because I went to a lot of schools. But not saying I was doing anything to get me in trouble for me to move schools, but
Right.
I just moved a lot. So, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like you just have to look forward to a lot going into high school, like peer pressure. Some kids get bullied. You have to, I don't know, it's really just about the way you put on for people. Like, for me, it was like, I don't know how to say it.
Say it however you need
It's
to
like-
say it.
My appearance.
Okay. So
Like-
appearance is one.
Yeah, appearance.
Okay.
Appearance, and then appearance goes with how you come at people too. I don't know, but I just feel like appearance definitely. Like,
So when it comes to high school, and you know what, and I hear you, and now I'm thinking about it to where it's like, yeah, you can see like individuals that may not be, their appearance may not be, top of the line. They kind of shade back. They kind of, almost want to fade off into the background, right? But then you got individuals to where, it's like a fashion show. Yeah. I'm coming to school, I got to make sure that my edges is where they supposed to be, and different things. And so the pressure of looking a certain way in high school could really affect. Do you think that could affect how you deal with people in high school?
I do. What you think?
Repeat the question again.
Your appearance and how you look. Do you think that the pressure that comes behind you getting yourself together, having everything in place, the right outfit, making sure you ain't wearing Nike with Adidas, you know what I'm saying? But your appearance and how you look, does that have an effect on how you deal with the people around you, around your peers?
Yeah.
If so, then if you want to expound, because help me understand how your appearance will affect how you deal with people.
Well, actually, now that I hear you ask it multiple times, or since you repeated your question multiple times, I feel like it just really depends on how the person's mind is, like where they're at. Like, some people have a mindset, okay, yeah, I have all this and I'm all fresh and I got more than this person, that person. I feel like that's where it makes you look at people different, or like people like that always think that I have to have people around me that's like me, like you gotta have what I have, or you gotta be up to date with me, you gotta be following the trend like me. Like, I feel like in that case, yeah. But if you aren't really like a materialist,
you said it right, materialistic. Yeah, you said it right.
Materialistic.
Yep.
Okay, materialistic person, then I feel like that really shouldn't affect how you treat people. Because me personally, I don't got all the up-to-date stuff. I don't want to follow the trend. I don't want to do none of that. I just want to be me. This is what I like. And so me personally, I don't think it affects other people. Or it wouldn't make me look at people different.
Okay.
Or anything like that.
Okay. That's good. What do you think, Moses?
I'm trying to I feel like for some people, not me, but for like some people, when you have like more than others, it makes you look down towards the other people that don't have as much as you. And I think like now that I kind of agree with what she's saying, it does make you look at people a different way. Like not for me, but for other people. I feel like that's how some people feel, because like even at my school, like most of them got money and they spending it all, and they got all these outfits, and they always, like you said, it's a fashion show every day. And then I feel like for me, like I'll be trying to, like I'll look at them and be like, they're a cool person, you know, they so sweet and something, but then when I get to know them, they're just like, no, they really not. Because they actually really, they got a bad attitude. They actually mean and snobby.
They can look nice, but...
Yeah. But even with some people, and even with some people that I have, like, some girls that I have seen at school, like, before, how they would dress and stuff, and I'm like, oh, they got all the money in the world, and they usually seem mean, because some people can seem mean off their appearance, and so then I judge too hard, and then I actually get to know them. And one of the girls that I used to think she was like very mean towards me, now we're like really good friends. And it's just like sometimes your appearance does have other people judge you in a way to where it makes it seem like you're something that you're not. And so I feel like that's really hard for some people, because they're really not mean, but it's just the way that they seem or they act, and they think that they are.
Wow. So I listen what y'all saying, because now say that I walk in and I see y'all dressed a certain way, right? And so because I'm looking at your appearance, now I feel like, oh yeah, they pretty girls, you know what I'm saying? They stuck up, you know, they think they all that. So now I see, now this is what I got going on. I'm thinking in my head, right? Because of past experiences, right? So then if I see some guys that I know and they're talking about, yeah, they just stuck up, they think they all that, how much pressure do you think I am up under to just join in and be like, yeah, man, I thought the same thing, man, that they this and they that. See, this is where the peer pressure comes in, to where we're going to find out different types of peer pressure, right? To where they wasn't directly talking to me, but I heard them talking about you ladies.
And so you feel pressured, like you have to say something too.
Right. Like I got to join in because I want to be accepted. I want to be cool. So now I have to, as a matter of fact, let me scratch that. I really think y'all super cool. Y'all just pretty. I don't know how to talk to you. You know what I'm saying? So when I hear these fellas that I think pretty cool, and they got a reputation that everybody want to be around them, now I want to click up and be cool with them. So when I hear them make a decision or a comment about y'all, now I feel like I have to have that same thought process about you ladies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So let me ask you, is that something that you see where it's like, because I want to be accepted, you know, in certain crowds from certain individuals, to where I have to start to adopt their same thought process? Or have you seen that before, where, you know, somebody was like, yeah, they just really trying to be connected with them. They don't even think like that. Matter of fact, they don't even do that stuff. Now all of a sudden they do it, you know.
I be seeing it with my friends. I just be like, now you know you didn't think that girl. Sometimes I just be want to put them on blast. I'm like, I'm not gonna do that to them, but it's just like, now you know, you just doing that because you want to fit in. Like,
right.
I definitely see that too, especially at school.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. So, I mean, that's good, because you said especially at school. So where do you see that type of where I'm trying to pretend to be something that I'm not, so I can be, accepted from a certain group. Where do you see that most common? Where is that at? Do you see it in society? Do you see it at home? Do you see it in the school system? Where is it that you see that at mostly?
I want to. It's either out of school or like the outside world. I don't know. It's like both though. Like, but I would say more of like, I don't know, school.
I would say more in school, because like you're around. Cause I don't know. Cause when you're outside, you're around more people too. But like when you're inside of school, it's a certain amount of people that you're around, and so like I don't know how to explain it. It's like
it makes plenty of sense. You see more people, and you're able to see it more, around school. Why? Because everybody has to come to school, so you see a lot of different interactions with people. Now, when you're out in society, I might not even see you.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I like golf, which I don't. I'm just saying, I don't, I like to fish now. Come on now. Come on, Ryan. So it's like, I like golf, but you like to play the piano for fun. We ain't going to be hanging out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? On the outside of here. So you might not see individuals out in society, but at school, me and you need an education. Right. So you're going to see them a lot more pretty much in school.
I feel like that nowadays students don't really go to school for education anymore. Now, some students, like
let's talk about it.
Their mind is on the right track, but then like we have a lot of people that want to follow other students' paths that are not all the way right all the time. So I just feel like nowadays students go to school to either see what fight is gonna go down today.
Yep.
See who gonna talk about who, or hear who gonna talk about who.
Yeah.
Or just to have fun, or get away from home for a little bit, or just like things like that. Area. Yeah, like a hangout area, like. And I don't know. I just feel like that's where everything goes wrong at, because I just feel like, how do you sit outside of school, and that's when you're chill and calm and normal and just, but you go to school and you act a donkey, like you go there for I don't know, you might as well stay at home. Like, you might as well stay at home. How you want to get up and go get in trouble all day? Like, you don't even like getting in trouble by your mom, but you want to get in trouble at school all day, which is going to somewhat work its way to you getting in trouble by your mom. Mm-hmm. So I don't understand, but it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of things that need to be fixed in this generation.
You know what? I didn't say that. You heard it from the youth of our generation that said that a lot of things need to be fixed. And you said something. You said a lot, actually. And then I seen you over there shaking your head like you in agreement with her. Like, hey, that is so. Now, because now it really makes me think that when I hear the mindset that young people have, not everybody, but a lot of youngsters have in going to school, why they go. Now we need to take advantage of this opportunity to where we can get them to be there for the right reasons. Right? So it's like, man, we got to become more strategic in how we deal with the youth when we get them to school. We know you coming to show, you got that. It blows my mind that $1,500 outfit on. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm like, I don't know how in the world you got it. $1,500, that one outfit. Man, I'm laced for 2 years. My wardrobe is done for 2 years. But I'm just saying, I just think that would be a great opportunity for us to take advantage of having kids there, and let's deal with why are they there? Why are you there? And, the pressure of, and I see this a lot too, and then you can comment. But I see this a lot. If I ask a question, if I ask some youngsters a question, right? I can see them doing this. Before they answer, they look at other youngsters. You know, they look around like, you know, like almost like, well, shoot, you know, you gonna say something too? Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if I'm gonna say something, but, and it's like, well, I don't know. And then you got that one that'll step up and say something, right? But after he says it, it almost becomes like a domino effect. Yeah, what he said. Right. Or yeah, what she said. And so it's like there's pressure that I feel like I'm up under if I say something different, and it may be more truthful than what somebody else said, especially if everybody is agreeing with what this person said. Yeah. Is that something that you see that's common in school, to where it's like everybody agreeing with what this person said? Now on the inside, I really don't agree, but I'll go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Yeah, what they said.
I do see it, but I'm not even gonna lie. That's me sometimes too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look. One time, like we play these games at our school sometimes, and it's like like you know that game where you pick the side of the room, like they ask you questions. So like sometimes it's a question they'll ask, they like go to this side of the room, go to the middle or the other side. It'll be sometimes where like I see I'm the only one that's gonna end up standing over here, so I go all the way to the other side where everybody else go.
So you don't be the only one standing.
Ooh, listen. Y'all know when I get excited, listen, I be ready to throw something, kick something. Because I promise you, what you just said was so powerful, right? Did y'all just hear what Cariah said? And Maya agreed with her. She said what she would do is, instead of being alone and standing over here, she will go where everybody else is. There was something that I seen this movie and it was really good, but what it did was the movie was it's called The Hive, Hive.
Oh, the Bee Man.
It's called. No, it's not the Bee Man. It's called The Hive, right? And what that does is great movie, The Hive, Hive, but it's dealing with young people that has that's been in trouble. We call them society calls them at risk, but it's just a lot of youngsters that been dealing with trouble, right? But statistically, this is what they said. Statistically, some of you are going to be in prison, some of you are going to be strung out on drugs, and some of you are going to be dead, right? And so I even used it as an example, to where I would tell young people, and then they said, as a matter of fact, some people would be dead, some people would be strung out on drugs, some would be incarcerated, and it's like one or two would be successful. So what would happen is I would tell everybody, look, choose which one you're going to be. And then they would be like, no, this person over here, so I put them over there. You're going to be successful. And I tell everybody else, you choose one. And they would actually go and choose one of those areas, right? And to where the person that's standing in here that's supposed to be the one that's going to be successful, they be like, well, I don't want to be by myself. So then what I tell them is, well, you know what? Since young people, y'all don't like to be by yourself. So what I'm going to tell you is you choose which one you want to go to. And they would actually choose one of those areas versus saying, I'm going to be different. And I'm going to be one of the ones that will be successful, because it's easier to do what everybody else is doing versus standing alone and being different. So when y'all said that was so powerful, because listen, parents, we need to understand the mindset, the perspective. Yes, I'm intelligent, I'm smart, school comes easy to me. I'm able to communicate. but I don't want to be by myself. So I'll choose the lesser route. I'll choose to be less than in order to fit in with everybody else. And so for some of y'all that just don't know, that's why Cariah and Maya was looking like, what in the world? Like something just ran across. My wife just went. Right. Yeah, she just went right on up under there.
She couldn't even get away with it.
Yeah, couldn't even get away. So she was just coming in the house. So big ups to my wife. So yeah, that was really huge with what you said, Cariah. And so you agreed. Now think about that though. Think about that. The pressure of being different. The pressure of being opposite of what everybody else is gravitating to. So what you just told me was the pressure that you feel everybody's doing this and I'm over here. I don't want to be left out. I don't want to be talked about. I don't want, and so that's pressure. So what I do is I'm going to decide to where, well, I'm going to do something. That's what I just heard, you know. That's what I just heard. And you put it in a way to where it made a whole lot of sense to where you would decide to do something, even though on the inside, you didn't feel like it was like, I really don't want to do this, but I'll go ahead and do it because I don't want to be alone, be by myself, you know.
Right. And I actually have another little story.
Sure.
This kind of, this ain't a bad one though. Like, I went to Kings Island and everybody, I could say this is a time where I was peer pressured. At first I didn't really too much do big roller coasters that went upside down and stuff like that. I can only do the little stuff, the ones that go back and forth or something like that.
Yeah.
But I went to Kings Island, I think it was last year. I went 2 times. I went a couple years ago, then I just went again last year. And like my whole family, like everybody that went with us, all the kids, everybody was getting on every ride. And my thoughts before I even got to Kings Island was, I'm coming here to have fun. Like, I'm doing it all. But knowing me, for real,
right.
I'm not doing none of that. So when I'm getting to the rides and I'm seeing everybody having a blast, like everybody agreeing to get on this ride and this ride, and they expect me to sit back with the little kids and just watch them get on that ride. So I said, okay, Cariah, you just gonna have to, that's a peer pressure moment. I'm just like, okay, Cariah, you just gonna have to toughen up and get on these rides and just see where it take you. So then I was finally peer pressured enough to just get on the ride. Then I got on the rides.
You loved it? You wish you hadn't?
It was like some rides, okay, yes, but some of them, I swear, roller coasters feel like they're about to take your neck off. Like, the way they be hitting the corners and swinging you and but I mean I would definitely get on the upside down ride again. It was fun.
Okay.
And then one more thing, I could also say that with the whole I want to fit in thing and things like that, like what you were just talking about, I had more of that experience when I was a little bit younger, like in middle school. Okay. Like, that's how I always thought like that. I always thought like, okay, I got to make sure I'm here, look like this, that, Right. But now I'm perfectly fine with being by myself. Like, I'm about to be 18 soon, and I'm like perfectly fine with being by myself and taking the right route, because at the end of the day, I've been through my hanging out stages and with the wrong crowds and seeing where all that took me, and it ain't took me nowhere good at all. Okay. I always was in trouble, in detention school, things like that. So I could say now, for me being in high school, just by being by myself, I don't get in trouble at school. My grades are good. It's like a good outcome. Just like you said before, Kojak, I remember in my head, you said it's good to do things that you don't want to do, because the things that you don't want to do most likely will have a good outcome. And I just feel like so far with me doing things I didn't want to do, like going to school every day, doing my schoolwork, going to work every day, doing work. It's always a good outcome every time.
Cariah.
Every time.
Come on.
And I be thinking like, Kojak said it. He said
on
it. He
now.
definitely said it, but yeah.
Hey, listen, that's dope. So, and just to help you out understand what she was saying is, the things that we like to do is usually connected to the things we don't want in life. You know, that life that we really want, that life of security, that life of meaningfulness, that life of excitement, joy, you know, is usually connected to the things we don't like to do. You know, we don't like to be responsible. We don't like to be, you know, held accountable and do those things. But that's what's connected to the life that we really want. You know, being irresponsible, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to, you know, whatever feel good, I'm going to do it. Those things are usually connected to the things we don't like. You know, the outcome in life that we don't want. You know, judges, lawyers. You know, bail, you know, you got to pay, you know, bond money, you know, or even, and I'm not saying that, I mean, but the increase of losing my life, it increases when I'm living that way.
I don't know if this makes sense, but I was just thinking, I feel like people make short-term decisions, or does that sound right? Like, I'm trying to put it like, people just think of what's going to happen, like, at the moment. They don't think about, like, what's going to happen in the future, or, you know, like, things like that. So.
That was me and my youngin' didn't listen to me. Hey, listen, I'm going to testify that was sure enough me, you know. See, this is why peer pressure, and what we're going to do is we're going to go over, it's like, it's 6 different types of peer pressure. And I just think that we've covered, you know, every last one of these, right?
Without even going over. Without even going over.
We just got straight into
without
it.
going right. And so that's what I'm talking about, to where it's like, you know, just thinking about our everyday life, how we've experienced what's on paper, we see that every day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so we deal with this on a day-to-day basis, but for sometimes, you know, where this come into play is now I can look at how it's identified and I can label it, right? Mm-hmm. So I can be like, okay, like unspoken peer pressure, you know, okay, I can see how, you know, somebody ain't even saying nothing but just go to pass me something. They ain't even asked me if I wanted it. They just, you know, pass me something, or if I see them doing something, nobody asks me.
It just gives you peer pressure.
Right. To where now I want it, man, let me go ahead. They cool. Let me, you know, let me do it as well. So what I want to do is I want to go through these. And then as I'm reading, if you want to say anything, please feel free to say anything, you know, that you want to say. Man, this is really good. And listen to me, I really appreciate y'all too when it comes to peer pressure, because you're really just laying the blueprint of what I think peer pressure is, you know, or where I think it really comes from, you know. So I'll read this. So here's a breakdown of 6 types of peer pressure and tips for parents who want to help their child make healthy, lifelong choices. Number 1, spoken peer pressure. Spoken peer pressure is when a teenager acts, suggests, persuades, or otherwise directs another to engage in a specific behavior. Mm-hmm. So when you have somebody be like, hey, Cariah, let's go ahead and, you know, let's hit this cigarette. Or, come on, Cariah, let's go ahead. Or Maya, come on, let's go ahead and, you see that money over there? Let's take it. You know what I'm saying? So that's spoken peer pressure, where they suggest, persuade, or otherwise direct another to engage in a specific behavior. If this is done in a one-on-one environment, the recipient of the influence has a stronger chance of adhering to his or her core values and beliefs. If, however, the spoken influence takes place within a group, the pressure to go along with the group is immense. Which means if I ask you to do something and it's just me and you have more strength or you have more fortitude to say, you know what? No, I'm cool. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Or no, I'm not. I choose. I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. But if it's a group, and the group is doing it, now the pressure of going along has increased. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay. Is there a reason why you agree? Why is it a lot more difficult to hold to your core values, to what you know to be right? Why is it so difficult for you to hold on to that when it's a group versus when it's just one person coming at you?
Oh, because I feel like when it's a group, okay, so when it's one person, it's easier to say no or say that you don't want to because, you just have more. You have more pride of what you're wanting, like what you're going against. But then when you're with a group, it's just like all these people are coming at you, and they're just like, "Yeah, we do this too. So why won't you do it with us?" And it just like you may getting anxious and you're getting scared because you don't know what will happen if you do say no or if you do say no. So I just feel like it just pressures you into doing it even though you don't want to because you don't want to upset them or you don't want to find out what the consequences will be if you do say no.
That's good. That's good. That's good. So listen, parents, this is why you need to make sure that you create an environment for your child to have a voice even in the home.
Yeah.
Right? Even in the home, because once they go out into society, if they have a voice at home, then they'll be prepared to use it even when they get outside, outside your home. So I just encourage you. It's never too late to give them a voice too, to even set parameters to where, hey, listen, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to do that. And if you choose to do it like, hey, Cariah, look, this is what we're going to do. Well, I don't want to do that, And it's like, well, it ain't about what you want. And look, okay, well, talk to me. And you may share, well, I don't want to do this because this really reminds me of this bad time that I had. And so I just don't want to do that, because it brings that up.
Don't put your pride to the side.
You know what I'm saying? Right. And so that's really good. Don't set your pride to the side. And that's the pride of you being you, the pride of saying, you know what, I love me. I'm proud of me and I'm going to be everything that God called me to be, That's the pride she's talking about. So I love that, Don't put your pride to the side. Love you. And I'll say it again. How you feel about you has to trump other people's opinions about you.
Everybody's different.
Yes.
You don't got to be like the next person. Just appreciate the way you are because that's how God created you to be.
Hey,
so.
Hey, listen, you heard it from the prophetess, Hey, absolutely. Great word, too. Okay, number 2, unspoken peer pressure. With unspoken peer pressure, a teenager is exposed to the actions of one or more peers and is left to choose whether they want to follow along. This could take the form of fashion choices, personal interactions, or joining types of behavior like clubs, cliques, teams. Many young teens lack the mental maturity to control impulses and make wise long-term decisions. Going back to what you were saying, that a lot of people make these short-term decisions. They're not able to see, hey, well, listen, if I make this decision 4 years from now,
how's
man,
it's going to affect my future?
Right. They just worried about what's going to happen right now.
Right.
Like just like with people that I feel like get locked up and stuff like that. I feel like at the moment, I don't know, I can't really say, but I just feel like at the moment they think, okay, well, they only worried about what they're about to get charged with and things like that, but they don't think about how long this is going to last or what it's going to look like in the
Come
future.
on now. Yes. So it can be fun though, for the moment. See, that's one thing we got to make sure that we help people understand, doing wrong sometimes. It can be fun for the moment, right? Doing something that goes against your core values and what you know to be true, for the moment it could be fun, but long term, as y'all was saying, that can really be costly, right? And so this is where we need to be able to speak and make decisions based off of long term. So those unspoken peer pressures is when teenagers is exposed to actions of one or more peers and is left to choose whether they want to follow along. So, hey, listen. Me and Cariah, we're about to go. Yeah, that's my wife again. I don't know how my granddaughter gonna edit all this going on, because my wife just been clowning today. But so me and Cariah, we're about to go to Red Lobster. So now we about to go eat, and we sitting up here saying, man, seafood, Red Lobster. Matter of fact, we about to go eat, and we didn't say nothing about where we were going, right? We could have just been like, you want to go? Rubbing our stomachs, you want to? And so Maya is left to make a decision to say, well, wait a minute. I want to go eat too. We didn't say anything about what we were going to do, but our behavior and our actions put her in a position to where you had to choose to follow what we was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that's unspoken peer pressure. Your stomach going to stay growling, or you going to come get it full. Yeah. Number 3, direct peer pressure. Direct peer pressure is this type of peer pressure can be spoken or unspoken. Direct peer pressure is normally behavior centric. Examples of these kinds of behavior would be when a teenager hands another teen an alcoholic drink and makes a sexual advance, or looks at another student's paper during the test. The other teen is put in a position of having to make an on-the-spot decision. Ooh. See, that goes back to what you said in the beginning.
Yeah.
Moses, you said, sometimes you just feel like you're pressured to where you got to hurry up and make a decision.
Yeah.
To where you can't take your
don't
time.
get the time to think. And most people, when they're in peer pressure, they also act out of their emotions. And so then after they make the decision, then they just regret it later, because it's like, if I had the time to think about it, I wouldn't have made that decision.
Man, did you say that's how young people?
I feel like that's how everybody.
Oh, well, I'm testifying. Yeah, listen to me. You are absolutely correct. You're absolutely correct. That is something that as people we deal with. But as being older, because of how our brain and experience, we're able to really say, you know what, hold on for a second. Hey, look, I'm cool. No, I'm not doing that. Or, we've been through enough to where we can think rationally, right? Young people, I think that, a lot of times, like you said, you be on the spot, like it's either now or never, like, right. What you gonna do? And so this direct peer pressure is you being able to make an on-spot decision. This is what I like, Cariah, what you said. You said when I was in middle school, kind of coming up, I was influenced by certain things, fashion, wanting people like me. You said, but now you're at the point, you 17, you about to be 18. You're at the point to where I don't mind being alone. To where you can make a decision on the spot and say, listen, this right here ain't going to benefit my future. Definitely. I'm cool.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Definitely been heavy on that.
Yeah. I like that. Been heavy on that. If y'all didn't hear that, she been heavy on that. If you can't help push me closer to who I'm trying to be and where I'm trying to get with my life, I'll holler at you. Yeah, deuces. Yeah, and we
Deuces.
heavy on that.
We heavy on it.
Yeah, we heavy on that. Number 4, indirect peer pressure. Similar to unspoken peer pressure, indirect peer pressure is subtle. You know, it's sneaky. It sneak up on you. But can still exert a strong influence on an impressionable young person. When a teen overhears a friend gossiping about another person and then reacts to the gossip, that is indirect peer pressure. That is indirect peer pressure. Or if a middle schooler learns that the popular kids' parties include alcohol or drugs, that indirect pressure may prompt them to experiment as a way to gain acceptance. Oh, you over there with... Hey, now you done broke out smile. Both of y'all smiling like this indirect peer pressure. Holla at me. I holla at me.
I just feel like
Yeah, I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna read this part again because I think this is the part. When a teen, this is what indirect peer pressure looks like. When a teen overhears a friend gossiping about another person and then reacts to the gossip. Oh yeah, I don't even fool with them. Yeah, they did such and such. Now all of a sudden I'm the friend. Now I don't like that person. And now I'm looking at that person sideways because I heard what my friends said about the person. Yeah. I don't even know the person. But now I'm looking at this person sideways because I'm reacting off of what I heard. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I feel like words is words at the end of the day, but like, especially if it's indirected, then for me, I'm just not worried about nothing indirected, first off. And second, even if it is directed, like I said, words are words, and it's not hurting me. So
I'm glad you said that, Cariah. So let me say, your girl, and I can't wait to let her know we want her on the show too. You know, so your girl, you hear somebody talking about her, talking crazy about her. Whoop-de whoop whoop. Yeah, Rihanna, she ain't this, she that. Whoop-de whoop. What do? Yeah. See, this that indirect peer pressure. Yeah. Now, what do you do when you hear that?
Well, me knowing the way how she is, I'll probably just I ain't gonna say I wouldn't approach the situation with anything no violent decisions or nothing like that. But I feel like I would step up and say something because that is, my day one. So I feel like I would say something, but I wouldn't say nothing that's going to cause anybody to want to attack me or nothing like that, if it makes sense.
Okay. So approaching that situation or addressing that situation or what you heard is very important because and we just thinking from a young person's mindset, you come and address me about something that I wasn't talking to you about. I was talking to my friend and you come address me.
Wait, did I hear it?
Yeah, you heard it. Yeah.
Well, you said it loud enough for me to hear. So that's
right.
That's all I need.
But I wasn't talking to you.
But I just feel like if you being loud enough to where I can hear it,
then something should be said.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what I said all that to say this. What if I don't receive you coming and you may come and address it in such a civilized way, a mature way, but I don't take it like that. What happens if hey, matter of fact, if you don't get on up out of here, ain't nobody talking to you, I'll smack you and
it's gonna make me want to fight.
Okay.
Not saying that I will. I'm just saying that I feel like any person would be like, oh, so now you coming for me, so now I got to defend myself. And
right.
Gotcha. Sometimes that leads to...
That's peer pressure too right there.
Come on now.
Because it's like...
Right.
I can't even say it. It's just like
Right. Right. Because some
It's
started
like, what
off
do I do
indirect.
now? Cause like I feel like when it comes to like somebody talking about your friend or something or someone that you care for, you have more of something that you want to say. But when it comes to you, then it's kind of like, well, I don't know what to say now. It's like, how do I defend myself in the correct way?
Oh, that's good. That may be another topic right there. You know, how easy it is to defend somebody else. But then how do you properly stand up and defend yourself, you know? And, wow. That's something. Okay then. So listen, it is very important, and I think that if you guys hear somebody talking about, you know, it's a couple ways that you can deal with that, right? But I really think for you ladies, how you say, you know, I want to address that. And it's more so of, if you don't address it, how will you feel when you leave? And now you're around your friend and you done heard somebody talking about and you didn't stand up for her. You know what I'm saying? So that feeling of, I'm just saying, because there's going to be a battle that goes on. I'm going to feel a certain way because I didn't do what was right.
right.
You know what I'm saying? And so for me to address the situation, you know, in a more mature way, you know, it also does something for me, you know, internally, you know, confidence wise, you know, and lets me know that, and this is one thing that we as people, and especially young people, we definitely have to understand. Just because I do the right thing doesn't mean that the consequence is going to always be in my favor.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, and the thing about it is, Jesus did the right thing, but he got crucified. You know, so it's not going to always work out in your favor just because you do the right thing, right? But you got to be sold out to, man, I got to do what's right, even if it costs me some, me being uncomfortable, or, you know, me having to deal with some situations. But if a couple people go to get on your head, listen, run. Do you hear me? Get on up out of there. Listen to me. Get out of there. You hear me?
You don't gotta tell me twice.
Okay, then. That's what. Ain't nothing wrong with running. You hear me? Because
Wait, I ain't gonna run, but
oh Lord Jesus.
Cause then what if they start calling you scary?
yeah, like I'm not finna just run, but like, okay, I'm gonna just put it like this.
I love it.
I dropped it.
Oh, you okay? We get it.
All right,
Oh,
I'm not
I
just
think
gonna
that's part
run.
of, wait, can I say something real quick? I think that's part of peer pressure too, because you don't know, because like you said run, but like I don't want to run because I feel like they're going to call me scary, so do I stay in the uncomfortable situation?
Come on.
And that's more like, for me, it would be unspoken peer pressure because they don't know that, but this is what I'm thinking in my head.
Oh, I love it. Listen to me. This is why, man, I hope y'all listening to what these young ladies are saying, because they are blowing I want to throw everything in my house.
Just let me leave before you.
Mama, you're going to have a massive cleanup.
I'm just saying, I want to throw everything in my house because I'm going to tell you exactly what I think peer pressure is, right? So let's go ahead and finish up. Oh, that was so dope. We could have.
Oh wait, did you
spend some time on
finish
that.
what you were saying?
No, it's okay.
Oh, go ahead. No.
No, it's okay because she like kind of said it already. I just like agreed to it.
Oh, okay. So you was right along the lines with. Okay. So that was indirect peer pressure. Number 5, negative peer pressure. Asking a young teenager to engage in behavior that is against their moral code or family values is a type of negative peer pressure. Teens see the actions of other teens with stronger personalities and are put in a position of following the leader or walking away. Excuse me. It's not uncommon for teens with strong morals to find themselves engaging in behavior that goes against their beliefs, simply because they want acceptance. Young people often lack the skills to come up with an excuse or reason to say no to negative peer pressure?
I feel like only you could put yourself in that type of position to where you have to pick and choose.
Oh, Sarah, I just want to grab you, just squeak, listen to me, because listen, that is so powerful. And the reason why that's so powerful to me is because what you just said, that goes against a lot of us as parents, because guess what we'll do? If my child gets in trouble, what I'm going to say is they were hanging around the wrong people.
That's what all the parents say.
Come on now. So what I just did, that goes against what you just said, Sarai. You just said that, listen, no, it's on me. Mm-hmm. To where now, but the parents is saying the reason why my child did this or did that
is because who they hang around.
And the whole time it was
your child can make a decision. And I'm saying from experience, like anything that, I've done in the past or anything, some things I could say. It wasn't always because of who it wasn't always because of who I hung out with. Sometimes it would just be like, I could have made a better decision. I could have did the opposite, but I chose to do what everybody else was doing. They didn't sit there and, just.
That's good. That's good. That's really good. Number 6, positive peer pressure. A group dynamic can be a positive peer influence if the behaviors are healthy, age appropriate, and socially acceptable. For instance, if a peer group wants to make good grades, a young teen can be positively influenced to study. Or if a popular friend wants to earn money and save to buy a car, a less outgoing teenager may also be influenced to get a job and open a savings account. If members of the football team take a pledge to abstain from drinking alcohol to focus on staying healthy and having a winning season, other students may adopt the same behavior. Agree or disagree?
Agree.
Okay. Listen, parents can be the most powerful influence in a teen's life. Agree, disagree?
Agree. Hardly agree.
Okay. Parents can be the strongest influence in their child's life if they understand and are aware of the types of peer pressure their teenager is facing. Supporting healthy friendships, modeling responsible behavior, and keeping an open, judgment-free family dialogue are 3 key components of maintaining positive parental influence on a teenager. Agree, disagree?
Agree.
Okay. Take the time to talk it out with your teen and ask them about types of peer pressure that they may be facing. Check out our conversation starters if you need some advice on how to kick things off. Listen. Oh my goodness. This has been so dope with y'all. I love it. And so this is why, real quick, because we wrapping this up, but I wanted to say real quick that to me, peer pressure does not come from outside influences. To me, peer pressure comes from you put so much pressure on yourself to fit in that you do some things that you really know you shouldn't do.
Right.
So, a lot of times when, and y'all said it all throughout the whole podcast, the whole episode when we was talking, to where, man, it goes back to, it's a personal decision, which you can have influences. However, the greatest influence or the greatest pressure that's put on you is you putting it on yourself. Yeah. You put pressure to make certain decisions, to fit in, to be liked, to be looked at a certain way. And so it's like peer pressure, the greatest peer pressure is the pressure that you put on yourself.
Yeah, and it's just like when somebody says, say somebody does something and they're like, well, why'd you do that? And they're like, because the other person forced me to. It's like nobody can force you to do anything. They can try to, but it's only you are the only person that can actually make that decision on what you're going to do. So.
Yeah. And that's to make a decision. Hey, listen, I honestly believe that, and the reason why I wanted to say what I said was because when we understand that peer pressure comes from inside, internal, I put pressure on myself to make certain decisions so I can fit in. What I just wanted to do was to acknowledge that the power to choose still lies with you. You understand what I'm saying? So if I make a bad decision, I deal with the consequences. Listen, I still have the power to make a right decision.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if I fall, I still have the power to say I'm gonna get back up. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
So that right there is a way for you to understand that mistakes don't define your future. You can decide to say, you know what, I'm going to be bigger than my mistakes. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be different than everybody else. The choice is still yours, right? And so this is why I'm so glad that everything y'all said was right on point. And I'm so thankful that you're at a stage in your lives to where you're operating and saying, man, I'm going to use the power that I have to choose. And I'm going to choose. Listen, if I smoke loud or smoke gas, marijuana, I'm a smoke it because I choose to. Didn't nobody make me do it. I chose to do that, right?
But that's kind of hard to tell your parents, though, because they still going to look at you like,
wow, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
I feel like it's not always easy to just, like, when my mom used to say stuff like, it was the wrong group of friends or something like that. And then I'll be thinking in my head, like, I just want to say, I did this, like, me, like, this was my decision. But then the other part of me, like peer pressured again. The other part of me, like, she's not going to go with that. She's not going to believe that. But
listen, parents, you just heard it. Grandparents, aunts, uncles, guardians, whoever you are, you just heard her say, listen, we can't be so naive to where we think that it's all of the outward influences. She just said that, no, listen, I chose to do that. And so we have to give them enough credit that they are the ones making the decision. So we don't deal with the friends. We don't deal with all those outside, influences or challenges. Let's deal with the one that holds the power to choose. And that's our babies, right? And so, listen, I ain't got nothing else. I'm good. I'm done. I'm full. I enjoyed y'all. And I think that this is super, super dope. And I believe this is going to help some people. Yeah. I really do. So, before we sign off, I just want to say, hey, thank y'all for tuning in to our second episode of Minds of the Youth podcast with me, Kojak, a.k.a. Yay, and
me, Maya, a.k.a. Moses, and our guest today,
Cariah.
So listen, we appreciate you guys tuning in. So I want to leave them and ask them if they have any closing remarks, anything you ladies want to say before we close out.
I don't have
some encouraging words for the younger kids or kids my age. Don't give up. Keep going. If you're almost there, you're almost there. And if you're not, you still almost there. Keep going.
That's right. Super dope. And so with that being said, what me and Maya chose to do is that after every episode, we're going to close out in prayer because we need prayer, and we just want to make sure that we praying over our future, which is, they're our future. However, they're our today. So I want to close out with prayer. So Father, we just thank you and bless you. God, we thank you for this opportunity. We thank you for this time. Lord, we come together collectively and pray over our youth, Father God, not only in our city, not only in our state, but in our nation, God. We just ask and pray that you will continue to enlarge their creativity, Father God, and their imagination, Lord, that they could really understand how powerful you created them to be. Let them know, God, that you still have a purpose and a plan for their lives. So, Father God, I just ask and pray, Lord, that you protect their minds, God, guard their hearts, God. And I ask that you would put people in their lives, God, that can nurture and cultivate that seed of greatness on the inside of them, God. And God, I just ask and pray that you continue to, those that you do connect our youth with, God, that you keep working on us. Do a work in us, God, to where we'll be a help to them and not a hindrance. And so, Father, for that, we just thank you and we bless you, God. Be with every family, all the youngsters, Father God. And as Cariah said, let them know that, listen, don't give up. Keep going. And if you're almost there, listen, keep going because you're almost there. God, we just thank you and we bless you in Jesus' matchless and wonderful name. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Hey, so listen, thank y'all. Make sure, hey, when y'all listen to this podcast, this episode, make sure you go to YouTube and what?
You hit that subscribe button and turn on the post notifications so you can be notified every time we post another video.
Cha-ching.
I like that. And like it and share it too with youngsters that you guys may be in contact with. Hey, thank y'all again for tuning in to Minds of the Youth podcast with Kojak and Maya and our special guest, Cariah. Hey, holla.